the dramatic face there. It does a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and the 1 just hung there for a minute. I was like, are we gonna connect today? Because occasionally it'll connect and then immediately disconnect, and you're just like, it is what it is, right? Okay, so we are in part 4 of Science of Mind. We are right around halfway through. Although there is a dictionary, I should say glossary of terms. And then he does a whole lot of meditations and stuff in the back. So I'm literally not going to read, I'm not going to read you the index. I don't know about the dictionary, the glossary of terms. I'll have to think about that, because it might be interesting to go through it and discuss them. So, even though I'm discussing them with myself and you're just listening, you're always welcome to comment back. So, hadn't thought about that. And now I'm thinking about it. So, if you're following along, we are on page 330, and we are going to start with a section called Unity. Reason declares that he's got that. I don't like it when it's one of those things in English language that makes you go, wait, what? How do you do that? All right. Reason declares that which is infinite cannot be divided against itself. The infinite is, therefore, indivisible and consequently a perfect unit. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. It is also that whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. All of it is present at any and every point within itself. It is not approaching a point nor receding from it, but is always at that point. The whole of God is present at any and every point within God. And that is a point that we make a lot. So let me read that again. The whole of God is present at every and any point within God. It was to this indwelling spirit that Jesus prayed, for God is within a person as well as throughout all creation. It is that thread of the all-sustaining beauty which runs through all and doth all unite. God's lines have gone out into all places. There is no place where God is not. All 3 of those were quotes. No idea where they're from, but they're all quotes. This concept enabled Job to say, in my flesh shall I see God. All life is bound together by one common law of love, and love is the self-givingness of spirit. It was the realization of this one presence which illumined the saints and the sages of the past. I and the Spirit are one, the Spirit that dwelleth in me. It doth the work. We must come to the sense of this marvelous presence, for this is the secret of successful metaphysical work. God is in all and through all. All manifestation of life is from an invisible to the visible plane through a silent, effortless process of spiritual realization. We must unify in our own mentalities with pure spirit. To each of us, individually, God or spirit is the supreme personality of the universe, the supreme personality of that which we ourselves are. It is only as the relationship of this individual to the deity becomes enlarged that one has a consciousness of power. In treatment, there should always be a recognition of the absolute unity of God and people. The oneness, the inseparability, the indivisibility, the changelessness. God as the big circle and people as the little circle. A person is in God and God is in a person. Or we could say people are in God and God is in people. Actually, I would even suggest every living being. We get a little people-centric. I mean, for all the ones that we're the ones that talk about it and get, crazy about it. When I look at my cat's eyes, I understand that that's the divine looking back at me. When you look in your dog's eyes, that's God looking back at you. When you look at a tree, it's hard to think of a tree looking back at you, but that's God standing there in that tree. There's nowhere God is not. There's no living being where God is not. And, if consciousness goes all the way down, then, the rock that you're skipping across the pond, well, that's God too. All the way down. But for the sake of clarity in the lesson, people are in God and God is in people. Just as a drop of water is in the ocean, and while the ocean is in the drop of water. That, by the way, is Rumi. This is the recognition which Jesus had when he said, I and the Father are one. I and the Spirit are one. There is a perfect union, and to the degree that we are conscious of the union, we incorporate this consciousness in our word, and our word has just as much power as we put into it. No more, no less. Within this infinite mind, each individual exists not as a separate, but as a... Well, hang on. Let me try that again. Within this infinite mind, each individual exists not as a separated, but as a separate entity. We are a point in universal consciousness, which is God, and God is our life, spirit, mind, and intelligence. We are not separated from life, neither is it separated from us, but we are separate entities in it, individualized centers of God consciousness. We came from life and are in life, so we are one with life, and we know that instinctive life within, which has brought us to the point of self-recognition and still knows us in the reason, some days it's easy, some days it's not. Today, Ernest is making me crazy. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure where I got lost. Okay. We come from life and are in life, so we are one with life. And we know that instinctive life within, which has brought us to the point of self-recognition, still knows in us the reason for all things, the purpose underlying all things, and we know that there is nothing in us of fear, doubt, or confusion which can hinder the flow of reality to the point of our recognition. We are guided daily by divine intelligence into paths of peace, wherein the soul recognizes its source and meets it in joyful union, in complete at-one-ment. Atonement, separate the words out. At-one-ment. That's what atonement means. All right. The power of Jesus is understood when we study his method of procedure. Consider his raising of Lazarus from the dead. Standing at the tomb, he gave thanks. This was recognition. He next said, I know that thou hearest me always. This was unification. Then he said, Lazarus, come forth. This was command. The method was perfect, and we shall do well to follow it. The method can be used in all treatment. First, realize the divine power is, then unify with it, then speak the word as one having authority, for the law is the servant of the eternal Spirit throughout all ages. All right? Jesus prayed that all might come to see the unity of life, that they may be one even as we are one, was his prayer as he neared the completion of his grand work. The prayer that enabled those closest to him to understand the unity of spirit in which people clearly recognize their oneness with their Creator and with all creation. All mystics have sensed that we live in one life. In spirit we live and move and have our being. The unity of good is a revelation of the greatest importance, for it teaches us that we are one with the whole and one with each other. The parenthood of God and the actual siblinghood of people will be made apparent on earth to the degree that people realize true unity. Okay, I think I'm going to do this section on individuality and then quit, because that section was tongue-twisting and required a little bit of thought. So, and it's worth thinking about. It's worth thinking about it. It's good work. So let's do individuality, and then we'll quit for the day. The highest sense of the truth, the higher the sense of truth, the greater will be the realization of the uniqueness of the individual character and personality. The real self is God-given and cannot be denied. It is the place where God comes to a point of individualized and personified expression. I am the light of the world. Individuality means self-choice, volition, conscious mind, personified spirit, complete freedom, and a power to back up that freedom. There could not be a mechanical or an unspontaneous individuality. Individuality must be created in the image of perfection and let alone to make this stupendous discovery for itself. It emerges from the universal psychology, teaches the personification of this individuality, which is true as far as it goes, but metaphysics universalizes it by unifying it with the whole. There is a universal nature of people inherent within them, which causes the manifestation of their personality, the Spirit of God. We have now discovered a unity with the whole on the three sides of life, or from all three modes of expression. We are one with the body of the physical world, one with the creative law of the universe in the mental world, and one with the Spirit of God in the conscious world. Wow. I actually think that paragraph right there is wicked important and have not highlighted it. Huh. Okay. I mean, that's the triune nature, right? We have now discovered unity with the whole on the three sides of life, or from all three modes of expression. We are one with the body of the physical world, one with the creative law of the universe in the mental world, and one with the Spirit of God in the conscious world. That is kind of mind-altering and mind-blowing. Could we ask or hope for more? Would it be possible for more to be given? We could not ask for more, nor no greater freedom could be given. For from now on, we shall expand, grow, and express only to the degree that we consciously cooperate with the whole. All of the great mystics have taught practically the same thing. They have all agreed that the soul is on the pathway of experience, that is, of self-discovery. that it is on its way back to its spirit's house, and that every soul will ultimately reach its heavenly home. Reach its heavenly home. They have taught the divinity of people. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. They have told us that people's destiny is divine, and sure, that the creation is complete and perfect now. The great mystics have all agreed that a person's life is theirs to do with as they choose, but that when they turn to the One, they will always receive inspiration from on high. They have told us of the marvelous relationship which exists between God and people, and of a close union that cannot be broken. The greatest of the mystics have consciously walked with God and talked with God, just as we talk with each other. It is difficult to realize how this can be. It is hard to understand how a being so universal as God must be can talk with people. Here alone, the mystic sense reveals the greatest truth and knows that infinite as the divine being, he goes into all caps, so hang on. Let me try this sentence again. All right. Here alone, the mystic sense reveals the greater truth, and knows that, infinite as is the divine being, it is still personal to all who believe in its presence. It is entirely possible for a person to talk with the Spirit, for the Spirit is within them. And it who made the ears can hear. Since we see that personality is what one does with their individuality, we should turn within, as have all those great souls who have blessed the world with their presence. We should turn within and find God. It should seem natural to turn to the great power back of everything. It should seem normal to believe in this power, and we should have a sense of a real presence when we do turn toward the one and only power in the entire universe. This method is by far the most effective. It gives a sense of power that nothing else can, and in this way proves that it is a reality. It would be a wonderful experiment if the world would try to solve all of its problems through the power of spirit. Indeed, the time will come when everyone will, from the highest to the lowest. Undoubtedly, the power of Jesus lay in his recognition of the infinite person as a responsive, conscious, living reality, while, on the other hand, he recognized the law as an arbitrary force which was compelled to obey his will. He combined the personal and the impersonal attributes of life into a perfect whole. The infinite is personal to every soul who believes in the infinite. By the way, that was all in caps. Shall I read it again? Emphasis earnest. The infinite is personal to every soul who believes in the infinite. It is a mistake to so abstract the principle that we forget the living presence. It is the combination of the two which makes work effective. A sense of real completion can only come to that soul that realizes its unity with the great whole. People will never be satisfied until their whole being responds to this thought, and then, indeed, will God go forth again into creation. To as many as believed, gave God the power. All right. That was two really powerful chapters or two really powerful sections. Not a whole lot, but still it bears thinking about, it bears reading, it bears going away and thinking about. I took my glasses off too soon. So we are going to start tomorrow, which is Saturday. So after I go to the park and play with squirrels and the blue jays and the woodpeckers, we are going to start with Ultimate Salvation for All. All right. So that starts on the bottom of 334. And I have been at that section with a pencil, so that should be interesting. And then we'll go from there. I still think that paragraph over on 333 is really important. I'm going to take my book with me and grab a highlighter and make a mark. Because how have I missed that? But, every time you read it, you see something different, you hear something different, it hits differently. And that's the point of going back and rereading things. I will tell you that Jesse says the same thing. He goes back and he rereads things and something new jumps out at him. That's the point of me doing this. It's like, okay, I'm actually going to do this exercise where I'm going to read it cover to cover, but new things are jumping out at me and things that I hadn't noticed before. And I'm like, ooh, So it's been really good for me. I hope it's been as interesting for you. So, I'm going to move into the process of my day. We have after the holiday sale, so I need to gird my loins for the day, as it were. So just a couple of brief housekeeping. I'm going to remind you, an easy way to support the center, and me is to engage with our social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Channel, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. And all we're asking is go like, subscribe, follow, comment, and share. We think we have enlightening stuff. We try and keep it, as a radio show that I listen to, we try and keep it light, bright, and tight. We want it to be uplifting and helpful. So, please go and do all the things. And all it costs you is a click. If you would like more information about the center, then please feel free. The website is creativelife.org, or there's a constant contact email. You get one email a week unless something unusual happens. And it is email info@creativelife.org. And the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. So there's that. All right. Now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a cleaning up after last night day, a drink plenty of water day, a stay cool day, a stick to the shade day, a you got this girl day, you got this day, a it'll be okay day, a cuddle with your fur babies day, a call a friend day, a grab a hug from somebody day, a good day, and if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit of motion. You are God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. All right? Explore the truth of your being. That is what Ernest Holmes is talking about in this book. Exploring the truth of your being. Exploring your connection with the divine. That's what it's about. That's all it's ever been about. All right? The person of the divine knows you to be as good. When you recognize that, anything else is possible. All right, beloveds. As I said, I'm going to move into the process of my day. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.